Okay, this project is taking us back to our discussions on budgeting, financial planning, and financial management. Specifically, what I want to do here is analyze the difference in shopping habits. We, I have a shopping list here on the right. So in columns A and B, let's see, so over here, column A and column B, this is the shopping list. I actually went to the market. I went to the supermarket and to the Star Market across from Lesley University, and I walked up and down the aisles and I just recorded 22 or so items that come in both small containers and a large container. Now, it's under the assumption that you're using this particular item consistently over the course of a year. So when your container runs out, you buy a new one. So I want to look at two different cases. One, I'll use blue here. Oop, oh, that was supposed to be blue. Here is how much will these groceries cost if you're consistently buying the smallest package? So you could look at this as shopping every week versus shopping once a month and buying in bulk. So what your goal here is to come up with about this much. So for example, this first item, naked green machine juice. Okay, so let's say you go through about 125 ounces in a month. Well, so in the column C, D, E, and F, this is the shopping list. If you're buying the small size, the small container, this is simulating basically shopping, you know, every week. And then over here in green, this is buying the same amount of food or the same number of items, but buying the large containers, so buying more in bulk. So, for example, this first for the naked green machine juice, you need 125 ounces approximately. You're not going to get exactly 125. So if you're buying the small container is 15.2 ounces. So 8 of them will give you about 125 ounces. So you take out a calculator and divide 125 by 15.2. So what I want you to do is record the price of the item. So I don't know what it costs, but let's say $2.99, and how many you need to buy. And we need 8 of them to come up with about 125 ounces. Now you'll see right here, $23.92. I set up the Excel spreadsheet so all the calculations are already done for you. All you have to do is input the price per item and the number of items. If you look over here on the right, 64-ounce containers, about 2 of them. So two containers will give you 128 ounces. So it's close enough to 125. Let's say they cost, I don't know, $6.99 a piece, and you need 2 of them. Okay, so already you could see buying the small containers costs about $10 more than buying the larger containers, and you're getting about the same amount of juice. So what I want you to do is go through this list and item by item. I mean, physically go to the supermarket and walk up and down the aisles. You may want to write down the prices and type them in later, or you could bring a laptop or a tablet with you to the market. And I want you to type in item by item, and Excel will keep a running total for you. So down here in this yellow box, I have it set to add up all of these values up here. So if we um, see, we need 60 ounces of Tostitos chips. So the 10-ounce bag will need 6 of them. Let's say, oh, sorry. The price per item, let's say, is $2.99, and let's say we need 6 of them. So now down here, the 4186 comes from the sum of the two numbers in this column. So this is the total price per item, and this is in yellow down here, this is basically your total bill. Okay. Before you do this, I want you to just very quickly answer this question, these two questions. Do you think buying groceries using the large containers or small containers will cost less, or the large containers will cost more or less? And then down here, before you do the calculations, I want you to just give a guess. Just how much do you expect to save? Just, let's say, $50 cheaper, $75 cheaper, $100 cheaper, whatever you might expect to save before you start entering any information. Now, two things I want to point out. One, you may not go to the same supermarket that I went to. So if there's an item on here, Filippo extra virgin olive oil. All right, if they don't have that brand in the store you're in, just replace it with a similar item. So what I want you to do is go through this list, item by item, find the price of the small container, which is this size, find the price of the large container this size, and when you type in the number of items you need in the cost per item, the spreadsheet will automatically total up those values. One other option, if you don't want to go to a grocery store, you could go to one of the grocery store's websites. So I know I haven't personally done this, but I know you could order groceries online and have them delivered. So I'm sure you could look up the prices for each one of these items online. It might be, I don't know. I just went to the market. It didn't take too long to walk up and down the aisles. So once this is done, you'll have basically, um, this is simulating, and this is not, accurate for every individual's shopping habits, but this is just a simulated monthly shopping list. So once all the information is entered, you'll have two totals, these two yellow boxes. So this is the grand total before tax for buying everything in the smaller containers. Down here is the grand total before tax, buying everything in the larger containers. And I really want you to just think about how different they are and how just changing the way you shop, not changing what you buy or changing how much you buy, buying the same amount of stuff, but changing the way you buy those things could affect your bottom line, could affect how much money you have, could affect how much extra time you have from not having to work so many hours. So if you scale this up to how this would affect you over the course of a year, now you may start measuring your savings in thousands of dollars. If not thousands, then at least hundreds of dollars. Okay, that's about it for this sheet. And the last thing to do is write up a reflection piece on what you expected to happen, what actually did happen, how this falls in line with your own shopping habits, if what you learned from this, if doing this activity might encourage you to change the way you shop. I'll post a list of questions you could answer. They're all optional. It's up to you what you want to write. But yeah, that about does it for this. If there's any questions, please send them my way.